Okay. So again, for today's module, we're going to discuss the second week, which is still about measures of position. Now we know that the measures of position are percentile, decile, and quartile. Okay? Now for this week, we will focus on calculating a specified measure of position of a set of data. Okay? So last week, we were actually able to differentiate the three measures of position and identify them. How are they used in different kinds of data presented? Now this time, we're going to know how to calculate these measures of position. Now, again, measures of position give us a way to see where a certain data point or value falls on a sample of distribution. A measure can tell us whether a value is about the average or whether it's unusually high or low. Measures of position are used for quantitative data that falls on some numerical scale. Sometimes measures can be applied to ordinal variables. When we say ordinal, these are variables that have an order, like first, second, third, fourth. Okay? That is what we call ordinal order or data. Now, measures of position show how the values from different distribution or measurement scales compare. So, for example, a person's height measured in feet and weight measured in pounds can be compared by converting the measurements to z-scores, which we will tackle in the latter part of this lesson or for this class. Now, in finding for the percentiles, okay, we know that percentiles are data that are being divided into into 100 equal parts. Okay, so we have percentiles. We have 100 deciles, 10, and quartiles, of course, from the root word quarts, that is divided into 4. Okay? Now, when we are talking about percentile, we are actually dividing them into 100 parts, decile into 10, and quartile into 4. Now, how do we solve for our percentile? First, we have to arrange the data from the smallest to the largest value, or ascending. Okay? Ascending siya from the smallest up to the largest value. And then, once you arrange or let the data arranged in ascending, or that is represented by S sub 1, S sub 2, or S sub n. Now, n is the number of values in the data set. Second, you have to find for the PF percentile in a position starting from the smallest value. So say, for example, you are asked to look for the 15th percentile, the 23rd percentile, the 50th percentile. Okay? Next, if L is not a whole number, then the PF percentile in the data can be solved by S sub L plus 1 over N. Okay? Now, L here is actually the position in the data starting from the smallest value. Now, let's have our example. The math scores in the third long test are as follows. Okay? So, we have the examples here. The scores of in a math test. So that's like 35, 39, 28, 47, 26, 36,
35,
36, 35,
40,
37, sorry, yeah, 40, 32, 38, 40, 41, 37, 34, 46, and 42. Okay. Now we have here scores in a math test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have a total number of 15 scores. Okay, that's our N. Okay? Now, first, as the step actually indicates, we have to arrange them from the smallest up to the largest value. So, we can get the value 28, 32, 34,
34,
35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 40, 41, 42, 46, and 47. So these are our values. Now, we're actually finding for the 50th percentile. So, we're actually looking for the 75th. Okay? We are asked to look for the 75th percentile. Now, in order for us to locate it, we have to identify our locator. So, our locator is a position in the data starting from the smallest value. So, we have L is equal to 75 over 100 times 15. Okay? Now, we have 15 because that's the total number of scores. So, L is equal to the 75th percentile over 100 times 15. So, this is around 11.25. Okay? Now, so L is not a whole number. Okay? The value for our L here has a decimal point. Now, what should we do? So, in order for us to solve for the said percentile, we're going to add 1. Okay? S sub L plus 1 because this is not a whole number. So, therefore, the 75th percentile or the we're actually looking for the S12. Okay? So, supposed to be S11 siya, but since it's not a whole number, so we have to add 1. So, we're looking actually on S12. Okay? Next. So, since ika-12, ang percentile na ginapangita ka, from the arranged numbers, 28 to 47, we are looking at the S12, which is 41. Okay? Amo na siyang 75th percentile sa nakatag na data. Next, we have quartile. So once you're actually, once you can actually be able to solve for percentile, it will be easier for you to solve for quartile or decile. How? Because, as mentioned, percentile is divided into 100, decile is 10, and quartile is 4. Now, if you're actually asked to solve for the 30th, third decile, or D3, you're just actually looking for the 30th percentile. If you're actually asked to look for the first quartile, you're actually asked to look for the 25th percentile. Okay? Now, for our quartile, it actually has, it is divided into lower quartile, which is quarter 1, median, or the middle quartile, and the upper quartile, okay, which is Q3. Q3 is also equivalent to 75th percentile, okay? And example for decile, so first decile, that's D10, so that's also equal to 10th percentile, okay? Now, please be reminded of our remarks. So there is no 0th percentile and there is no 100th percentile.